So it's only been a year and a half, but I'm finally getting to posting my 2020 trip to Japan. It started in Honolulu, Hawaii on February 1st, where I flew to Osaka. It was a 10-hour long flight, but there wasn't anyone sitting next to me, so it was okay. I landed at around 8 p.m. and stayed in a capsule hotel overnight before I headed to my Airbnb the next morning. I was excited to stay in a capsule hotel because I had seen them all over YouTube before I'd gone to Japan. It was in the morning that it finally hit me that I was in Japan, a place no one in my family had ever been. And it was on the train to my Airbnb where I kind of had that first wave of culture shock. I don't speak the language and I'm reliant on my phone for how I'm getting around and how I'm going to be able to communicate with everyone. It was pretty easy to find my Airbnb, and I think I got a pretty good price. It was about $200 for the week, and it was a studio, and it had a washing machine, so that was good. There's me, hi. And there's a shower, bathtub, kitchen, and it was pretty cold in Japan, and it took me 2 days to remember that it had a heater, so I was able to crank the heat up pretty quickly. And it had a nice little balcony I didn't use because it was very loud. And then there's a little street cat I found, so pretty, right outside the apartment. There's me just getting some food for the day. So for my second full day, I was checking out Osaka, and I have to say Osaka and the Kansai region was one of my favorite places that I went to on my trip. I was in Japan for about a month, and I spent 1 week of that in the Kansai region, so I would do Osaka one day, Kyoto, Nara, and Kobe during my trip. And this is when I did the Ferris wheel. I don't know why I kept doing things that required me to go high up in the air, as I am afraid of heights. But that was pretty cool. After the Ferris wheel, I went to the Osaka Aquarium, and it was really cool. It was really big, and there was otters, there were seals, and I got to see a whale shark. I've always wanted to see one of those. the aquarium, went to Umeda sky boating, which again, why do I keep going to all these high places? It was like over 100 floors to the top, and they just kept going and going, but it was a really cool way to see the top of the city. Then the next day I went to Kyoto, Japan, and that was really cool. I got to see the Fushimi Inari Taisha shrines, and there was a lot of people there, and this is in February 2020, so it's about a month before lockdown started in the United States. So in Japan, some people were wearing masks, but it was like the beginning of everything, and not many people knew what was going on. So I had a mask, and I saw other people wearing them, but a lot of other tourists weren't. There's a street cat, very cute. And then after the shrines, I went to a Maka house in Kyoto. I had to wait in the line. There was about 20 people in front of me by the time I got there, but I got a matcha creme brulee and then a matcha ice cream with some orange juice. I thought that was an interesting drink for them to offer with matcha. And then after that, I went home, and the next day I headed to Nara, Japan. Nara was one of the places I was most excited to go because I really wanted to see the deer. And it was a pretty easy train ride. I think it was about 45 minutes from Osaka. And I got there and I was walking around and I saw the deer, and there's me petting one. But later after that, when I got to one of the bigger temples, my phone shut down for no reason. It would not turn on. Now, I had a spare battery pack with me, so I was like, oh, maybe it just died and maybe the battery pack isn't working. So I walked to a 7-Eleven, and I'm kind of panicking at this point because the only electronic device I brought on me for this month trip was my cell phone. And I think it was like an iPhone 6 Plus or 6S, so that's kind of old, but it hadn't done anything like this before, so I was a bit worried. And so it like shut down, was not working at all, and I was panicking because I was like, this is not good. How am I gonna get home? And eventually I got to a cafe, and this lady let me use her block in it from charging my phone, so it all worked out in the end. I'm already kind of talking over it. This is Kobe. The next day I went to the zoo and I saw a panda and I saw some seals. This was a really nice day. I think Kobe was one of my favorite places I stayed that I went to while I was in Japan. It's kind of quiet and peaceful, and the people who I saw there were very nice. After the zoo, I went up the Shinkobi Roadway. So I went to an art museum, and then I went up here, and it was very beautiful. You got like the whole view of the city, and it was a botanical garden at the top of the mountain. And you'll probably see later, but there's like a bunch of places where you could set your phone down. Oh, there's me talking about how high it is, and that I'm cold, and that I don't like high places, so pretty on brand for me. I'm just like, I don't like being up here. And there's like the perfume that they used to make with all the different flowers up there. I thought that was pretty cool. But basically, this botanical garden, I didn't really realize it, but they have all these places to put your phone to take pictures. And it's a place for couples to go and take pictures, not really for like single travelers. And I was just like kind of running, setting my phone going and taking my photo and running back the whole day. And I saw some really nice flowers and garden arrangements. There was plaques both in Japanese and English, so I could understand what everything was. And it takes you to the top, and then you walk halfway down, and then it takes you the rest of the way down. So there's me going back down to Kobe. I didn't see that many signs for Kobe beef, so I didn't get to try any while I was there. After that, I headed back to my Airbnb and left early the next morning. There's me waving goodbye. Now I'm headed to Tokyo, which is basically what I just said. And now I'm on the bullet train from Osaka to Tokyo. That was a fun experience, trying to like get the ticket and make sure I got on the right train. And it was about 34 hours. We were going 136 miles an hour, and I kind of just got like a speed view of what Japan was like. For this trip, I just brought a duffel bag with me and my purse, so I was traveling pretty light. I think I had about 15 pounds worth of items with me, and now I'm in Tokyo. And there's my friend Heather. She's the whole reason I came to Japan to begin with. We met in Hawaii probably from now about 3 or 4 years ago. It's been a while. I think I was 19, so like 4 years ago we met, and she got stationed in Japan in the Air Force. So when she got pregnant, I was like, oh, I'll come visit you. And so I was able to fly to Japan, like round trip from Hawaii for like $300. So that was pretty good. Oh, there's a bird cafe. I thought that was pretty cool. It was across the street from the Ghibli Museum, and I got some Japanese curry and rice. There's some birds you could just sit and look at. The Kotori Cafe. And then there's me at dinner with Heather, and she took me to a traditional Japanese restaurant where I tried octopus. I have to say, I don't think I would eat it again. It was very chewy, and I am not really a fond of seafood, but when in Japan, try it. Oh, there's us leaving the restaurant, and here's me talking about how I keep dripping everywhere, because I thought it would be a good idea to wear heeled boots to Japan, where I knew I was going to spend my whole time walking. But yeah, it's just us goofing off. So yeah, it was nice to visit Heather. I got to stay with her while I was there, and here's me going to Mount Takao. I was really excited about this because at Mount Takao they have snow monkeys, and that was another one of the reasons I really wanted to go to Japan. Here's me again talking about how I don't like high places, and this one, there's like no seatbelts, there's nothing to keep you in, so like if you there was a strong gust of wind or a big bump, you would fall off. So I was kind of scared about that. on with both hands because I'm concerned. It is bumpy. That was a fun day. I saw the monkeys at the monkey park, and the guy who was like manning it and selling monkey food, he like had his translator like thing in his hand, and he kept like telling me facts about the monkeys. He's like, that one's 8 years old, that one's the king. And it was so funny because he was like it's gonna be lunchtime. In Japanese he'd say that, and he's like imitating like what the monkeys are doing as he was translating it. So as he was saying it, so that way when the translation app would like make a mistake and he'd have to say it again, he would do it again. And I thought it was so nice. He was so sweet. Yeah, so I walked to the top of Mount Tycho. That was I did not think it was that far, and I did not think I was going to walk it, but I did. Because when you pay to climb a mountain, you climb the mountain, you know? So I'm on the things headed back down. I want to get lunch somewhere because I'm hungry. I had a cheese tart today, 2 coffees, and I got water. I'm trying to stop drinking as much sugar liquids. So I know that's probably why my skin is like, ha ha ha, fuck you. So we're headed back to the bottom now. My feet hurt, but you know, that's normal. I think I'm gonna get a new pair of shoes while I'm here, and then I'll throw these ones away because they're pretty worn out. So that's behind me. Okay, bye. And here's Heather and I getting bubble tea before going to take cute photos at the photo booth. Then the next day it was Valentine's Day, and I went to Harajuku. I did my makeup special, so here's me at the photo booth there, taking photos. I felt so pretty, and that was a lot of fun. It was like down in this basement with like 100 other booths, and I got some cotton candy from Toti Candy Factory, and there's these nice Australians who took my picture with my big thing of cotton candy that I kind of just had to like go and eat outside because there's nowhere else to eat. And so I was just like, oh wait, now I have to eat all of this myself. So not my best decision, but also yum, cotton candy. I don't think I've eaten cotton candy since that trip, so it's been over a year and a half. There's Lush. I was interested in seeing if they had skincare, but they just had bath bombs. And then I got like a chocolate crepe. And there's my friend's birthday party. He turned 21. He's also stationed over there with Heather. So we went out to a bar and got some drinks. And I was being annoying because that's what I do best. And then the next day we went back to Harajuku and we went to the Robot Cafe with a bunch of other friends who were visiting Japan. And I got the curry there, and it was like bright blue, and it was kind of gross. It was cold, which I'm like, cold curry on rice with like cold beef. You kind of go to that restaurant for the looks, not really for the food, because it tastes interesting to say the least. After lunch, one of the friends was still hungry, so he got this rainbow grilled cheese sandwich, which I thought was cool. And then after that, we walked to the Meiju Jingu Temple and just kind of walked around. And then the next day, I went to a random park, and it was crazy. They landed a helicopter and evacuated the park while I was there. So I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then I met up with Heather. And we kind of went to a grocery store, and I got a marble soda to try. She got a muffin.
So, enjoy. Huh? Do that. Press down. It's really hard.
And I have mac and cheese.
Heather and I went out to eat a lot, but that's like a fun way to make memories. And then I went to this zoo. I can't remember where it was, but I got to see red pandas, and they had quite the audience. A lot of people were there taking pictures, as you can see in this, with their professional camera lenses. I was like, oh wow. My camera quality is not that good. There was the red pandas, there was lions, tigers, and it was just a really nice zoo to go. I think it was like $5 to get in, so that was pretty affordable. Heather and I went to the world's largest Starbucks in Japan, and this is around the time that things started to close because of COVID. So this is a couple days before I left, and it was one of the last things that I got to do because everything else had closed.
The world's biggest Starbucks.
It was a pretty cool experience. There was about 4 floors, and there was a bakery on one floor, like a normal drink Starbucks menu on the next, and there's me drinking like an iced ice cream coffee, and there's a tea infuser, and then one of the floors was like cocktails and pizza, and then the 4th floor was just coffee brewing and like the whole process of how they roasted the beans. So I thought that was pretty cool. I got like something from each floor. I got a cappuccino on the 1st floor. I got an ice cream coffee on the 2nd. On the 3rd, I got a tea. I also got a pizza on the 2nd floor. And then the next day, I went to a cat cafe, and that was pretty nice. The cats are pretty sweet, but I feel like they were probably kind of tired of people petting them all day and being like, oh my gosh, who are you? I don't know who you are. But yeah, I got to see those cats. That was one of the things I was excited to do in Japan. And then across the street from the cat cafe was an animal cafe that had 2 Shiba Inus, and I'd always wanted to see one of those, and I got to hang out with those 2 for 2 or 3 hours. There was really no one else there. And then I headed home a couple days later. So that's the end of my Japan trip. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.